Rugby League is back.
Drum roll, please.
You're a true Warriors fan.
I have no recollection of that hot take.
We don't all have to agree.
It's good to be back.
It's just a really boring thing.
Oh, no.
Start winning some games.
I think there'll be a lot of changes to the team.
I've got them making the 8 for mine.
Let's go. Hello, folks, and welcome back to the Advantage Line, TAB's Rugby League betting podcast. My name is Karl. This is Paul Mawate. Paul, positive week in the NRL.
Certainly for
Especially
Wars
for
fans, 100%. That's exactly. I had a feeling that was where you were going, and I'm very happy that's where you're going because I'm on the same train. I'm riding this train all the way to the top 8. I know we'll get into that a wee bit later on, but boy, oh boy, that look. You know, we will. We're going to. I know we're going to talk about the game a wee bit later on.
It's going to be Warriors heavy show,
But yeah, well, with no Tedeschi to hold us back, we'll let loose this week, and I'm very happy about it too. But 2 points on the table. We move a little bit closer to that top 8 with a pivotal game coming up this week.
as Paul just alluded to. No Teddy this week. We'll come back to that shortly. But his replacement, fresh off a spell. We haven't heard from him for a few weeks. He is alive. It is the great man, Ben Searle from Searle Talk Sports. Searle, how are you, mate?
Yeah, good. I still haven't quite got my head around sending through my tips when I'm not on the show, am I? Because, yeah, I like to go a bit walkabout, much like what Teddy's done this week. But, yeah, it's good to be back in the mixer, particularly with a Warriors win. I like when you call me up off the back of wins. It makes things a whole lot easier, so I appreciate that, Karl.
No worries. Hey, before... Actually, no, yeah, Teddy. Where is Teddy? I've heard a few different things. I imagine we've all heard a few different things. I heard that Teddy was in search of Searle. Nonetheless, tried to board a plane to come to New Zealand and
Got turned away at the border.
Border control. So,
Yeah.
Teddy, if you're out there listening, we wish you all the best and hopefully you're back soon. Is that what you heard? Or?
No, I heard something else. I heard after that massive Dogs victory over the Broncos on the weekend, Teddy sent an aubergine emoji to Cameron Ciraldo, and he'd been summoned to Sydney to apologise. So that's what I got told.
Oh, that's good stuff. That's good stuff. I heard that he made a bet if Nathan Cleary, some useless washed-up footballer who's never going to make it, scores a hat-trick, then he would never appear on a podcast again. And I also heard he's hand-delivering a written note to Toby Sexton and apologies with quotes about how many times he's said that he's not an NRL-level half, but now he's led the Broncos to the Bulldogs to the promised land. So, yeah, Teddy's got a bit on this week, doesn't he?
He sure does. He sure does.
I think we've cleared it all up.
Teddy, yeah. We may see him back again. We may not. Who knows? He did send me his tips, though, so he's got his phone in prison.
Well, banged up abroad or banged up at home.
I was going to do this as I introduce you guys, and I'm stealing this blatantly from one of our partners and one of your good friends, or your good friends, Searle at George FM. I heard the boys, Tammy and Lee, talking about this morning. I want you guys to open your phones and give me 5 of your top 10 most frequently used emojis. This has got nothing to do with rugby league, nothing to do with punting. I was just curious to see what it is.
How do I find that?
Oh, God.
Well, where's the stat? Where do I go?
Go into message.
Open up your texts or anything and then click emojis and then frequently used. And there'll be a whole bunch of them there, but...
What? So here's my messages. What?
Oh, maybe this is a bad idea.
This could take an hour alone.
We'll be back soon.
Tune into our new podcast, teaching Paul how to use technology.
Okay, so here's
just
Messenger.
Pick a message. Any message, doesn't matter who it is.
Like that?
And then go in as if you're going to send something. Text something.
Yeah.
Now click the emoji button.
That one. Yeah.
No.
Oh.
No.
Yeah, there it is. There. Oh, no, I know. There.
One down the bottom.
That one there. So how do I know which
Line
is
across.
across?
There you go. No.
Oh,
Yeah, those are your top. That was tough. I apologise.
These first-
Never should have done
are
that.
you, are you talking about?
Yeah.
So do I go one? Oh shit! Do I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Those will be my top 5.
Yeah.
Across line. So I've got a laughing one with tears.
Oh.
A sleeping one. A thumbs up. A golf flag. And a one with a money tongue.
Presumably that's betting related.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's my top 5.
Concerning, I've got a couple of the same ones in use as Paul does, silly.
Yeah, that is concerning, mate. I don't have the money tongue, unfortunately.
I don't either. No, I've got the laughing crying face, the face palm, the dead skull, the big eyes, and the shucker.
What's the
Yeah,
shucker?
nice.
Oh, that one.
I've got a couple of
I
those.
think it's actually call me, but I use it as a shucker.
Yeah, it's definitely a shucker, mate. That's play on. That's play on for sure. I've got the big eyes, and that was in response to everyone who told me that the Tigers were going to beat the Warriors. I've got the nose, the Pinocchio nose, because I like to tell a few fibs, that's for sure. The fire emoji, the broken heart, which I think is to do with my betting for sure, and then the crying with laughter. So quite a lot similar there. I'm glad none of us have the thumbs up. I'm quite surprised Paulie didn't.
No, I did.
Oh, he did.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's really popular.
Apparently, it's a no-go anymore.
What do you mean?
The young kids don't like it. It's
Yeah.
disrespectful.
Well, I'll give you the tip. I don't send emojis to young kids. I'll give you the tip right now. Fair dinkum.
It's the
What?
most patronizing emoji you can send, Paulie, mate.
What? Really? When
Yeah.
did this become patronizing?
If that's all you send with, like, it's fine if it's in a message with text around it, but if that's all you send back in response to something, then it's basically, you may as well be pulling the finger.
That's exactly when I use it.
All right. We shouldn't have done this. I apologise.
But I want to see what Teddy's. Well, we know Teddy's number 1 is the aubergine, so find out what the other 4 are next week.
All right, let's get into some betting. Betting recap from last week, Paul, please.
Oh,
How do we go? I know how Searle went. He didn't.
Let's start at the beginning. Me, 1 bet. Roger Tuivasa to score 2 or more tries, but no good. It's Teddy. He had 1 bet as well. Roosters -6.5, which was looking very, very good for a long time. Into the Storm, 30 or more. Unfortunately, the Roosters fell over in the end, so that was his 1 bet. Karl, you had 2 bets. Storm -14.5 into the Roosters -6.5. Once again, stopped by that Manly comeback. And then you had the Rabbitohs, I think it was the same game, multi Rabbitohs into over 53.5 points. No good there as well. So you went down. However, wow, the ray of sunshine, the bright spot for the weekend, our good friend Blake Ashford was halftime full-time into Panthers halftime full-time into the Roosters to win. $100 on at $3.02. Well done, Blake.
Even he's given up on the Tigers. You love to see it.
Well done. Well done. All right, that's a pretty good segue into divided opinion this week. I've sent this to you guys in advance so you can prepare. With the news around Utakamanu departing from the Tigers, who would the Wars miss the most if they were to up and leave tomorrow? You go first, Paul.
Okay. I split this between 2 players. I've landed on 1, but I want to make a honourable mention to Wade Egan because I think, I notice when he's on the field, he stops opposing defenses from cheating, from starting to slide, because he's so very, very good at picking the right time to dart out from dummy half if he sees a little gap. Right. So, and then that means that there's usually a gap somewhere out wide for the boys to expose. So honourable mention to him. But I think Mitchell Barnett, who has been just super for the Warriors and thoroughly deserved his call up to the New South Wales State of Origin team. And he's come back from that, and he has just continued it. And he hasn't continued that form. He's just taken it to another level again since Origin. So I've been really, really impressed with the way he's gone about his business, and he is vital for that team to keep that go forward momentum. He's playing big minutes as well. So I think if he up and left now,
You're not wearing a watch.
no. No, sorry about that, guys. Now, if he up and left now, I think it would leave the Wars in a big hole.
Yeah, I could see that. It didn't have his best game on the weekend, but it's still better than probably 80% of the props going around in the competition. So, Searle?
I've got two as well. My first one was Mitch Barnett as well. I just have him down, our stand-in skipper. I think he's 2024 Simon Mannering medal winner. I think he'll get our player of the year because he's been outstanding. One of those guys who just brings everyone with him. I think we see the best of Adam Fanor-Blake whenever Mitch Barnett is out there, because Mitch is always that first one leading up the line speed, taking those tough carries, and I think Adam gets fizzed up off the back of that. And I truly don't think that 66-6 loss against the Titans would have happened if Barnett was there. The scoreline would have been a whole lot closer, and it would have been a completely different game. So I think we need Mitch for sure, and I'm glad he's extended until the end of 2027. And then the other one isn't a player, but our coach, and Andrew Webster, which is probably cheating a little bit. But I think, obviously, last year, Webby, first year, outstanding. This year, he's had to face a bit more adversity. But the thing I like the most about him is his message, his demeanour, his actions around the boys hasn't changed at all. And to me, I think that's the sign of a great coach. He's just always so calm and calculated. He sticks to what he knows, but he's not afraid to lean on his assistants and his leaders as well if he needs to tweak things. So yeah, I think if we were to lose the Dally M Coach of the Year last year, then that would be a big blow as well.
I can get behind all of that. It's probably going to be no surprises to you guys who I select.
Jay.
Yeah, it is.
Shawnee Johnson.
It is. And we've seen it this year. Like when he's been on the park, he's set it himself. He hasn't been playing his best and to the level of last year. But at the start of the season, he was still one of the top halves going around the comp. Yeah, sure. Tamane and Chanel Harris-Tavita had a 3-game stint where they were untouchable. Tamane was the best halfback in the comp, but the last couple of games we've missed a leader. We've missed Sean's experience. We've missed his kicking game. Misses his kicking game off the tee. I think if he was, even if he wasn't back this week or he wasn't playing, I think him still being around the club and helping the halves is better than him not being in the club at all until we get that new established halves pairing that can take us beyond the SJ era.
Agreed.
He's back this week, and I am chuffed.
Oh, can't wait. Can't bloody wait. The Prince is back.
Quick, would you rather? It's not really a would you rather this week, but
Okay.
that's what the segment's been called all season, so we're going to stick at it.
So it's a would you rather, not would you rather sort of.
Well, it's a what would.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So the question this week, 2 questions. What would the name be of the movie about your life and involvement with sport? And then the follow-up, swap betting for sport. So the movie, what would the movie be called about your life and betting? Searle, I'll go to you first, mate.
So my movie about sport is called The Last Ligament, and it's a story about how an ACL injury ruined a dream of a young Kiwi lad who was actually off to Saracens to play footy potentially, was in negotiations at the time, and then tore my ACL that weekend. Had to send an email on Monday and say I'd done that, and they just said, catch you later. So one of the great what-ifs, I reckon, the sporting career of a young Ben Searle. And my punting one is called The Unnecessary Leg, and that's the tale of a greedy adult male who is never content with 2 ticks and always chases 3, and that's the letdown of his betting every week.
Two very good
All right,
titles. Yeah, Rotten Tomatoes through the roof there.
Yeah, out the gate.
the song Could Have Been a Footy Great comes to mind. Certainly.
Every single person has that story, and I'm glad to be one of those.
Yeah. Paul, your 2 movie titles.
So I sort of misinterpreted the question slightly.
Of course you did.
Well, I might have, so you might be on the nail. Who knows?
I just actually looked for actual movies that sort of reflected
That'll work.
my sporting career. And right now, my sporting career, I'd say No Country for Old Men. I'm done with sport. I went and played indoor footy with the team here at work yesterday, and we were leading 2-1. I went in goal. We lost 12-2. So I'm done. I guess when I was playing sport, I guess the movie that would best describe it would be Breathless. Not because I put on some amazing feats of athletic prowess, more because I was breathless every time I took the pitch. So those are the 2 that come to mind for sporting sort of titles. In terms of the punting, I looked at it 2 ways. First of all, punting from a punter's perspective, I thought Dead Man Walking, Reversal of Fortune, but I settled on one in the end, Deadpool, because when I put money in a pool, it's basically dead. Then I looked at it from my time inside the industry, and I think the best movie that would describe that is 12 Years a Slave. So, and I think, if Teddy was here, he'd back me up on that one.
Is this a resignation speech live on air, Paulie?
To play them out. I thought there was going to be less controversial takes this week by Teddy, but wow, that's CC legal.
Oh, gee, boy, oh boy, I've been having a few chats with him over the last few days.
Wow, okay, a few movies there to have a look at. My ones, my involvement with sport title would be Sore Loser.
Yeah, who could forget poor old Big Al's driver?
Yeah, long time listeners of the podcast will know that I once broke my dad's driver after hitting a wayward tee shot. Played some relatively high level sport in my time, and don't go well losing. Still don't go well losing. Don't go well losing to my kids now. So sore loser.
Shout out to P&B.
Yeah, thank you. And betting wise, what does it mean to follow the herd? When I'm forever working where we work, Paul, you'll know this. There's tips flying around everywhere, and I learned this lesson in my first week ever working in the industry. Is maybe don't follow the herd. Everything you hear, just whack, just 1,000 bets on the first week. And I've become
responsibly, of course.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah,
I've become a lot better with that, but I still get very excited when I hear say, oh, "I've got one here," or "There's a tip here." Sucker for punishment and free tips. All right, let's roll straight into the NRL grid. If you're playing along at home, pause the pod, go and find the NRL grid for Tuesday, 30 July. Across the top this week, we have got Ashley Harrison, teammate, played for the Cowboys, Justin Hodges, teammate, and down the left, played for the Broncos, played for 3 or more clubs, and played for the Roosters.
So
I have mine, and I have Teddy's.
Okay, so
I can tell you now you've lost.
I can tell you now that I'm going to be like the Australian women's sevens team, and I'm going to finish in 4th place.
Oh, are you coming in as one of the favourites as well?
Can confirm you are a little sneaky peek over my shoulder. You're ahead of me.
Oh,
so it comes down to Searle.
Oh,
his,
I could be the United States last-minute try.
All right, we'll start with Teddy because we always do. This is impressive. Truly is. So across the top, Ashley Harrison teammate, played for the Broncos. Michael Hancock, brain 0.73.
What the hell? Who is that?
Exactly. Cowboys, played for the Broncos. Shane Tronk, 2.53. Justin Hodges' teammate, played for the Broncos. Leon Bott, brain 0.16.
You are kidding me.
Shock horror, those aren't the only two brains he's got.
Far out.
Searle, yours please.
I had Shane Webke, 2.51. Man, Teddy's a tough act to follow, eh? I feel like a real loser now. Then for Cowboys Broncos, I had Tom Dearden, 3.79. And then as Justin Hodges' teammate from the Bronx, I had Joel Moon, one of the great Warriors, 0.37.
Oh, nice. Paul?
I had Chris Walker, 2.00. Former Warrior Kevin Campion, 2.50. And former NRL 360 host Ben Eichen, 0.38.
Damn it.
And I thought I was going well.
I had Ben Eichen, 1.04. Antonio Winterstein. I'm shocked that he is the highest out of our three here. 5.65.
Wow. I used to love getting on him for a flutter, eh?
Yeah. And Gordon Tallis, 0.57.
I like Teddy's one, Michael Hancock. I can't believe I didn't say Hancock.
It's another one he's made up.
Damn it.
Um,
His combination was, who was it? Curry used to be in the centres. He was on the
Steph
same
Curry?
side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
all right. Teddy's Ashley Harrison teammate, played for three clubs. Michael Hodgson, 1.48. One of my favourites, Ashton Sims, 1.69 for Cowboys, played for three clubs. And Hodges' teammate, played for three clubs. The great man, Paul Green, 0.54 brain.
Oh, what?
So it's 3 from 6 brains here for Teddy.
There you go, Shirley. What do you got?
Follow that.
Well, I've just got 6 green ticks so far, so I'll take it. It could be worse. I've got Ashley Harrison teammate, 3+ clubs, Brent Tate for 2.24. Then I got Cowboys, played for 3+ clubs, Scotty Prince for 2.43. And then Hodges' teammate, played for 3 clubs, Karl Webb, 1.28.
Mark Minicello, 2.47. Tamari Martin, 1.29.
Oh, yeah, nice.
Scotty Prince, 2.58.
Tomato.
I try and slot in as many wires as I can because they're the
Yeah.
players I remember the most.
Yeah.
Nate Miles, 2.72. Tarek Sims, 2.65. Ashley Harrison, 2.26. Teddy's final row. Ashley Harrison teammate, played for the Roosters. Setamana Sa, brain 0.62.
How, like, these are names you know, but how does that the one that comes to your mind?
I know. Cowboys, Roosters. John Doyle, brain 1.99.
John Doyle. Isn't he a jockey in New Zealand now?
Isn't that a fish? John Doyle.
John Dory.
And Justin Hodges' teammate, played for the Roosters. I think this is his worst score. Oh no, sorry, second worst score. Brad Fittler, 2.38.
Yeah, that's a shocker. That's a shocker from Teddy.
I think his total might be less than one of my worst square.
It is mine too.
He'd be filthy at that last grid too. He'll be like, I can't believe 2.58. What a loser.
How did I not think of?
Yeah. He'll be off it. I had Ashley Harrison teammate from the Chooks, Dave Shillington, 2.86. Cowboys and Roosters, Tautau Moga, 5.8. And then Justin Hodges' teammate from the Chooks, Ashley Harrison, just because his name was already at the top of the grid, for 4.96.
I also had Dave Shillington, 2.86. Fun fact, I met his girlfriend at a nightclub in Sydney, a
Uh-oh.
nightclub with a swimming pool in the middle. I can't remember what the name of the nightclub was, but
Mermaids?
no, it was in Sydney. There was like a small.
It's a franchise.
Well, it wasn't really a swimming pool. I think it was only.
Franchise.
So yeah, well, she said that she was his girlfriend. So it was good because I got to talk a whole lot of rugby league. Willie Mason.
Oh, the poor bird, eh?
I don't think she was into rugby league, mate. But I was on fire.
Was she in the pool? Were you? In the
No,
pool?
it was in the. It was about that. I think it was about that. I didn't find out. I think it was about that deep.
That wouldn't stop you. That wouldn't stop you.
Got a lot more quick after our podcast about emojis. Let's do a podcast about Sydney night.
Yeah, there we go.
Willie Mason, 15.35.
Oh,
And then Adrian Morley, 1.46.
Jamie Soward, 3.27. Also Willie Mason, 15.35. And Skinny Todd Byrne, 1.43. Teddy has unequivocally taken the top spot here.
What did he get? 12 point something?
12.1.
Whoa.
what?
What'd you have, Searle?
I had 26.2, which I was quite proud of.
That's you take second place, Paul.
30.9. Come on, the Bronx.
Podium for Paul.
Come on.
I had 34.9.
Yee-hoo.
Willie Mason really effed me there.
Has Teddy never not won it?
Yes.
I've beaten him 2 or 3 times. And have you gotten once?
I don't think I've won ever.
Oh.
No.
Sorry, man.
It's like my sporting career.
Carl
Wrestling.
brought that up on purpose. 100%. He knew. He knew.
Brought that up.
Yeah.
He knew.
If I said, yeah, I did actually win, you get, no, you have not.
Alrighty. Moving on. Let's recap the Wars game last week. It was, I've got all these notes in front of me and I don't have the score. Searle, what was the score?
28-16.
16.
Yeah, it was a rough beat for 13 plus betters right at the end.
Oh,
And I was one of them.
15 seconds left. Api Coruscant crosses to cover the 12.5, which I think the line was.
Yeah.
Wasn't pretty. Wasn't a pretty win. It was messy, but Warriors got the 2 points. They're up 14-0 at halftime. Should have been 34-0 in my opinion. Probably 44-0. We were dominating on attack, charging through the middle, and just could not capitalize. Errors sort of really hampering things. 10 errors to the Warriors, 12 to the Tigers. Warriors completion rate was 77%.
Yeah.
Like I say, it wasn't great, but we got the job done, Searle.
Yeah, that's basically the biggest takeaways I had too. I thought first half at halftime we should have been all over them, and then when it went to 14-10 during that game, I started to look over my shoulder a little bit because I had the feeling of one of those games where all of a sudden the 80-minute hooter goes and you're just thinking, how did we lose that? That 77% completion rate is probably one of our lowest throughout the season. As you said, like out of our own end, we were so dominant, and through the middle of the paddock, we just annihilated the Tigers. Adam Fanua-Blake was outstanding. But then our red zone attack, just real clunky, and I'm sure we'll touch on the return of Chance this week. But for me, that's the biggest thing. And Roger was outstanding, but Chance's ball playing out the back of shape is just another level, and I think he adds a bit of extra potency to us on that red zone attack. But overall, just glad to get the result. Ali Leatoa, second game on the bounce. It's the first time he's been able to put together back-to-back performances, and I thought he was outstanding. Scored a try, turned on a beautiful one for Kossi with those quick hands. But for me, his work defensively is really encouraging. He's still only 21 years old. He's tackling at 91% this year. I think he's missed a total of 3 tackles across his 4 games, and centre is probably the hardest position to defend at in the NRL because you're constantly forced with that decision whether to jam, whether to trust your insides. You're one-on-one a lot with some of the game's great attacking talents, fullback sweeping around the back. So I'm loving the look of him. Between him, Rocco Berry, Graham Wala-Talfa, and Adam Pompey, we've got some young centres there that are incredibly talented. So, yeah, plenty of boxes ticked. Still not that 80-minute performance that we were looking for. It was probably, to be honest, a 30-minute performance. But the most important thing was that we got the 2 points, and that's what we did.
Your thoughts, Paul?
First of all, 100%. The most important thing, the win, the 2 points, getting out of the game. Look, 14-0 up at halftime, then to let them back in to 14-10. Obviously, things didn't quite go to plan in the early parts of the second half. But they regrouped again. Once again, Adam Fanua-Blake.
He was outstanding.
And the try he scored was almost effortless. Well, it looks effortless. He makes it look effortless. But he's just so dominant when they're, 5 meters out, just on a little cutback ball or short ball, something like. He's very, very hard to stop. So, yeah, there are quite a few positives. I guess the big thing to take is we get some reinforcements this week. But the most important thing was the 2 points.
Fanua-Blake, 222 run meters. Roger Tuivasa-Sheck, 293. Dallin, 200. And then 5 others over 100, and a couple more touching on 100. So easy meters. I think we're probably lucky it was the Tigers we were playing and not the Storm or the Panthers, or because, like you say, Searle, that would have gone a different way.
I think they'd be slightly disappointed in their completion rates. That'll be something they want to tidy up for this week. But look, the win,
the back-to-back tries, Kossi and Leitao at the end of the half kind of showed what we were doing early in that first half and how easy we were making meters. And yeah. Oh,
hello.
I got a little
little
echo there,
little feedback.
And now I've lost my train of thought.
Fair enough too. But it is interesting, right? Like last year we were so right edge dominant. Now we appear to be more comfortable shifting down the left with, well, Tamari at 7 anyway we are, because Chanel can just pick his moments when to inject himself, and it's been really potent every time we go down there. So hopefully with Shawnee back now, we see a bit more balance as well, because he'll still play that right side, but we're showing that our left side attack can be just as lethal when we get it right.
Well, Leitao is one of our most exciting prospects. Yeah. He is very, very good for his first real season in the big time. It's really, they're really, really good signs there. And I think the fact that Roger gets moved out to the wing this time, and I don't know if they'll swap. He might swap and get back into this. Yeah, I think the wing's probably his best position after fullback. He might find a wee bit more space there to sort of show the skills that he has. He just seems to have been bottled up in the centres, but he had a massive game.
Yeah, he was huge. And I think you touched on it before, though. Searle has, I think, because he hasn't spent, the full preseason at fullback, he's been moving around. It's like he hasn't got that polish and the ball playing ability sort of sorted out, and it was noticeable. He stands quite deep, and it gives the defence time to come up and sort of jam in on the wingers. And I think with Chance coming back, we've got that extra slickness. His combination with SJ sort of on that sweep, will be noticeable. And I think like Roger on the wing, we were all kind of hoping for it a couple of weeks ago to see him sort of unleash on the wing before Tane Tuapiki went down injured. But I think that left-hand side, especially with him there, will get a lot of ball this week, and he could be in for a few tries this week. Good to see Chanel Harris-Tavita kick a goal and get pumped up about it too. I thought that was very fun. You thought after the first 2 goals, like kicking from that same left side, left-handed kicker, it's the worst position to be kicking from and to miss them, and he just needed one to go over.
Plus the crowd, it sounded like the crowd really gave him a big
Yeah,
you were there.
It was so good. That was almost like a game within a game, or a win in the game itself. That first one, I thought it went over, but it fell short, which would rattle you as a kicker as well, because it's not often at the professional level you see guys fall short, particularly in conditions that were pretty favourable. So the fact he kept his composure, he smiled through that third one, a bit of Damian McKenzie about him, and then banged it over. And his instant reaction was so good. And the crowd, like, people were hugging each other. They were so stoked for Chanel, because I think people felt really sorry for him. Obviously, you saw all the news about the abuse he was copping and things like that. But prior to that game against Canberra, he was kicking at 81%, higher than Mitch Moses, Zach Lomax, guys who are noted goal kickers. So he can strike the ball well. We all have those days, and I'm glad that's all behind him now. And he went on from there to kick 3 from 3 after those first 2 misses. So well done to him. I think he's keeping the tee this week as well, because Sean's not quite ready to take that back over. And if that's the case, I back him to have another good day at the office now that those Canberra memories are a thing of the past.
Before we get into the preview, kind of still on topic, kind of off topic, but SJ's new podcast, he was talking about, he threw to his co-host and said, how many from the sideline do you think you could make? And they went out and tried it, and they got 0 from 5. Mm-hmm. Paul, we've had this discussion.
We're going to do it.
We're going to do.
We are. Well, we're going to do right in front, but we're going to expand it, are we?
10, but I think we can do the same from the sideline.
Don't forget, my movie is Breathless, so let's not go too far.
As a goal kicker, Searle, how many do you reckon you get from the sideline?
Is that what side? Does it matter? I'm a right footer, so if it's the left-hand sideline,
you're probably going to go.
I'm backing myself 4 from 5 at least. That's my specialty, is that sideline. Just because in game as well, like, there's nothing better, and it feels like the pressure's completely off. But I actually messaged Sean and said, "Is this an open call out? Like, can anyone have a crack to go down and have a kick and see what you think?" And he said no. So yeah. To be honest, though, goal kicking's the only thing that really keeps me on the team sheet each week. So I like to think I'd have a decent crack at it. But yeah, the majority of the people would go 0-5 for sure. It's not as easy as it looks. There's a lot of factors that play into it, and goal kicking in training compared to goal kicking in game is completely different. So do all the props out there at rugby training each week that are slotting them before training starts and then think that they can go do it in a game. You certainly can't. And then goal kicking in a game of club footy compared to professional footy is a whole nother level as well, I'd imagine, because there's cameras, there's all sorts going on through your head. So yeah, Chanel's the man. So's SJ. They're all bloody good goal kickers at that level.
Very good. All right. Maybe we'll get Searle along to that kickoff.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. What are we going to do it in Auckland?
I reckon I can take him on.
We're
back
on.
in my prime, anyway. Back in my prime.
But hey,
A few years ago now.
As long as no one does an ACL, like, that's just
Saracens, man. Saracens.
He's not dark about it, is he?
Wow.
Kim brought it up the other day. She was like, how different could life have been? I was like, yeah, cheers, love.
Thanks, Kim.
Yeah.
Beauty.
Look what Saracens missed out on.
Yeah. Forget Owen Farrell. They could have had Ben Searle.
Yeah.
I think they did all right. Yeah.
I know this isn't on the run sheet.
Cook, man. Go for it.
NRLW. How good. And did you see the bit of biff between the the Broncos and I think it was the Eels, Nu'usala and Cherrington? Gee, that was all right. I really enjoyed. I've enjoyed all of the NRLW games that I've seen so far. I can tell you, the Broncos, the team that have won, what have they won? 3 premierships. They ain't winning this year.
Maybe there's something wrong at the club.
Oh, rumour mill. Here we go.
No rumours, just observations. Let's get into the preview this week, and we're going to roll straight. We're going to do a little bit differently this week. We're going to roll straight into the Warriors, and then I've deep diving. I've done a deep dive.
Is there an emoji for that?
I don't know. into the ladder and where the Warriors are and where they could potentially be come the end of this week, the teams that we would like to see lose and all of that. So anyway,
Well, if you look at the odds, they're very, very good for the Warriors and also for the teams that they need to not win.
Yes,
Is that what you're getting at?
that's what I'm getting at.
Yes, yeah, love it.
But we'll start with the Waz Eels. We've already said it, big ins this week. SJ back at halfback, Chance back to fullback. Warriors are what, $1.20?
$1.22 after the Teamless Tuesday.
Yeah.
Before that, they were around $1.26, I think. So with the addition of Chance and SJ, they've now been squeezed into $1.22, and the Eels are out to around $4.25. So there has been a bit of a move. Obviously, no Mitch Moses, but they knew that beforehand. But he's a big out for the Parramatta Eels. But if the Warriors switch off like they did at times during the Tigers, the Eels will punish them. So I don't think the two teams are that far apart as the odds would suggest at the moment.
Well, so Warriors are 13.5-point favourites. I've done my best to I've got my stats and then tried to find some Teddy stats. Para have won 4 of the last 5 and 6 of the last 10. The Warriors did win the last one though at Combank last year, 46-10. Felt like a home game. The crowd was going nuts. The average winning margin by either team in the last 10 is 12.6. As I say, the point start this week is 13.5. This is the big one for me. And I hope I'm right. I'm pretty sure I'm right here. Eels have failed to cover line in 14 of their 18 matches this year. And away from home, they've only covered 1 out of 8. This is, though, the biggest start away from home this year and the second biggest of the year for them. So if you fancy the Waz, minus 13.5, I dare say, knowing Teddy's stats, and
he would
didn't
come
dig
back
into
with
that. The Warriors have
as a favourite at home.
home.
Yeah.
So, maybe
he's not here.
Maybe find the other half of that, or just back the boys in 13.5. Average total points in the last 10, 45.6. The total this week is set at 49.5. What's the weather like in Auckland, Searle?
Today it's beautiful. I'll just have a look at Friday actually, because that's something I need to factor in for sure. But today it's beautiful. There's not a cloud in sight, so fingers crossed that holds. I did see as well, I think there was a stat, Para haven't played at Mount Smart since 2017. Is that right?
Look, of the three of us, you're probably best.
Yeah, I think
conviction.
I think they haven't been here in 7 years, so it'll be good to have them back, especially for local Parramatta fans if there are any. Friday night, partly cloudy, showers in the morning, but then passes in the evening. So a bit of wind about, but no rain, it looks like, for Friday night. So love that.
Dallin has scored 2 straight in 3 of his last 5. Ali Lautoa 2 in his last 3. Adam Fanua-Blake 2 straight. Capewell 2 straight. And for the Eels, Blaze Talagi has scored 4 in his last 5, but hasn't scored in his last 2 matches.
The 1 week where we wanted Teddy here to give us a Trent Barrett stat, he's not.
Trent Barrett's coaching record is poor.
Yeah,
that's all you need to know.
He'd put some numbers behind it, but yes.
And he's never bet the Warriors as an interim coach of Parramatta either. Very handy stat. Yeah, Mount Smart since 2017.
What do you like in this game, Paul?
Or
who do you like?
Well, first of all, I like the Waz. I like them to win. I just think the $1.22 is slightly, just a wee bit short for mine. I can't take the Eels though. Look, they put up a bit of a fight last week against the Storm. They weren't the sort of pushover, not early on anyway. I thought they competed well at times, and I'm glad that the Waz got that game all over and done with against the Tigers. And I think they can build on that and come to the. And I like the fact, obviously, the fact that Chance comes back in, and SJ comes back into the halves, I think it gives that attack a wee bit more balance, and we'll be able to see them going both ways as well as up the middle with Adam Fanua-Blake and Mitch Barnett coming off those short balls. So I just hope they're not looking toward, because I think the critical game for the Waz is the game next week in Brisbane. And teams, and I'm sure that Webby will have them just totally focused on this week against the Eels. I can't see them. I don't see them going down to this Eel side. If Mitch Moses was in the team, it'd be a totally different story. He could control the game and push that the Waz all around the park. His kicking, I think he's got the biggest boot in the comp, maybe the second biggest behind what's his name at the Dogs, Matt Burton. So with him out, that's a huge loss for them. And with SJ coming back in, it's a huge game for us. So yeah, but I'm all about the Waz.
Sterling?
Yeah, I agree. I'm all about the Waz. I don't think we'll have it as easy through the middle as we did last week. And I've noticed Parramatta, they've only conceded 14% of their tries through the middle of the paddock, which is actually the second lowest amount in the competition through that middle region. So I think left and right edges are where we're going to look to skin them. And that's why I love Chance being back, just because he adds that extra silk out the back of those Sean Johnson sweep plays. Like Paulie, I think SJ's long kicking game is going to be crucial. He's the 5th for total kicking meters in the NRL this year, despite having only played 12 games, which is pretty crazy. Still ahead of guys like Jerome Hughes, who are noted kickers too. So that's going to be massive for us in winning that territory battle. Unchanged forward pack for the 4th week in a row. Yeah, I think this is the week where we really start to hit our straps. So I'll back the boys 13 plus. I do think it'll be on the lower end of that 13 plus. I'm not expecting a 30 odd point win, but I do think at home with that home crowd right behind them in a game that's really important to win, I think the lads get the job done.
Just touching on the points conceded piece there, Searle. They concede 45% of their tries down their right hand side, which is where
left.
RTS will be located. Just
Roger time.
Just a friendly FYI there, punters.
And when you look at their outside backs, right? Sean Russell, Tango, Blaze Talangi, there's not a lot of experience there. So I think that's right to isolate those edges. And I think that's what SJ in particular will do really well.
Yeah. I disagree with you, Paul, in saying that next week's the critical game. I think we're at that point in the season that all Waz fans know, unfortunately, but every game is the critical game.
Oh, the playoffs have started. They started last week for the Waz.
Yeah.
I don't disagree with that. I just think if they can get over, taking into account they beat the Eels this weekend, I think if they can get over the Dolphins in Brisbane, that gives them so much momentum into the last month of the season, and a lot more confidence as well.
I agree. And I think what last week did, well, what I noticed was the boys were smiling again. They seemed happy and sort of up and about, while, Mitch Barnett would look pissed off at the world in his post-game interview, and I guess rightly so, because they didn't play their best. But, the boys were happy. They were up and about, and I like that going into this week. Based on everything in me wants to take 13 plus, 30 plus, like sort of, I can see a big team sheets tell me I can see a big score here. But the punter in me, Warriors have been clunky. They couldn't put the Tigers away. What's to say they're going to put the Eels away? Yes, I think we're going to win, and we're going to win, reasonably comfortably, but I don't know if that 13.5, it feels like it's not sure. I would like to say yes, 13 plus, but I wouldn't be surprised if we, squeak in by 10, 12 points here. That is, that's the Warriors this week. Now, before we move on, anyone else got anything to say about this game? No? Cool. All right. I've been looking at the ladder, fellas. Warriors have got a bye in hand. We're currently on 21 points, so effectively we're on 23, right? Which puts us
1 point outside the 8.
1 point outside the 8. We've got the Broncos behind us, who are on 20. They're effectively on 22. The Knights are on 22. Dragons, Raiders, and Dolphins all on 24.
None of them have a bye left.
No. So those are the teams I think we need to be watching closely as Warriors fans over the next few weeks, and this week in particular. The Dolphins take on the Roosters. The Roosters are $1.28 favourites there. The Gold Coast Titans play the Broncos. Now the Titans are $2.45 outsiders, but they're flying. Broncos are in all sorts. I can see an upset there. Beat them earlier in the year as well.
Give me all of
Melbourne,
that for sure.
Melbourne Storm are $1.12 favourites against the Dragons. Panthers are $1.13 favourites against the Knights. And the Dogs are $1.38 against the Raiders. That's probably the most interesting game out of those lot for mine. Because the Raiders have gone all right since Jamal Fogarty's come back in the last couple of weeks.
The 4 teams directly in front of the Wars all play teams in the top 5 currently.
Yes.
Which is great for the Wars.
It is. There is a world where if you add the 2 points that we're going to get in the final round for that bye, come the end of this round, the Warriors are effectively sitting in 8th position.
Yeah.
That's happening. It's going to happen.
And then they've got the Dolphins next week,
who are on a free fall.
Which is once again will be it's a 4-point game, basically. They beat the Dolphins back. They jump directly over them. They lose to them. The Dolphins put a wee bit of a gap between them and the Wars. So
Dolphins will be travelling back from Perth as well, which makes it tough for them. That's a long trip.
And on the back of 3 straight losses, if they lose this week, they're not in a won't be in a good headspace. But I'm not too crazy in my thinking here?
Nah. I thought you were going to say minor premiers, which even for me is a stretch. But yeah, top 8, that's the minimum. I'm in.
All right. Sweet. It's going to happen. We'll regroup next week. And
we'll see how
celebrate the Warriors.
Those permutations, how they work out over the weekend. Come back. We'll have a look at them next week. But all going well, the Wars will just be just outside the 8 after the completion of this round this weekend.
With the bye in hand. So effectively in the 8.
It's coming home.
I'm not saying anything. I ain't saying nothing.
All right. Should we get to some betting? Wrap this thing up.
Did he send anything through?
He did.
Oh,
he did.
Wow.
But you know what? Nothing. Oh, I was about to hose him out. But the great man, Blake Ashford, has come up clutch and sent me his tips. All right, I'll start with Teddy. He has got 2 bets this week. $50 on a 4-leg multi that consists of Gold Coast plus 6.5, Tigers plus 10.6. That's a rare line.
10.6. I like it.
Dragons plus 19.5. That's against the Storm, and Cronulla minus 10.5 against the Bunnies. So 50 on that. And then his other 50 on Khan Pereira to score 2+ tries for the Titans against the Broncos. Given he's got the Broncos in here and Khan Pereira, I am guessing he loves the Titans this week. The Titans and Khan Pereira. Guessing he loves the Titans this week. And like I said, I don't mind them either, even at that straight up price. I'll go to Blake's 1 bet. Man is flying. Dogs minus 4.5. Roosters head to head. Broncos head to head. Unlucky, man.
Yeah.
And Warriors minus 3.5. 100 on at $4.12. I think the Broncos let him down. Let him down last week? No, the week before.
Oh, the week before.
I think they're going to let him down again.
The week before, I tell you who let him down. Broncos 13 or more to win by 13 or more.
Yeah.
No, that won. Broncos 13 or more and Manly.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Anyway.
No.
Searle, what do you got?
I have $50 on a try bet triple. My bets always have to have some type of name. So that's Titans versus Broncos, either team to win by less than 12.5. Tigers versus Cows, either team to win by less than 12.5. And Sharks Bunnies. I think Cam Murray back will give the Bunnies a bit of a lift. Still no Nico Hines for the Sharks. So either team to win by less than 12.5 in that game too. So all three of those together, $7.05. Then I got $25 on a walk the line bet, hoping it'll Johnny Cash for me. I've got the Titans plus 5.5 and the Warriors minus 13.5 at $3.51. And then 25 on a give 'em a taste of Kiwi. The two Kiwis halves come the end of the year. Sean Johnson and Jerome Hughes, both to score, paying $7.56. Hughes has scored in his last 6 straight against the Dragons. And Sean Johnson is just well rested and ready to snap some ankles like the old school SJ. So I love those bets.
Very nice. You don't want to add a third leg to your second bet there, just like your movie title?
Yeah, see, I've gone 1 with a 3-legger and then 2 with a 2-leg. So this is like a live human experiment to see just if I can change the tide. Just dipping my toes in.
Paul, what do you got?
The scientist experiments. Okay. Similar. I've gone a $50 treble, all anytime try scorers. Dean Mariner to score for the Broncos against the Titans. Casey McLean to score for the Panthers against the Knights. I've been really impressed with McLean.
Any relation to John?
Yeah. Yippee-ki-yay. And also Viliami Kiko. He's been a wee bit quiet of late, but I think back at Belmore against the Raiders, I think we may see him return to the scorer's sheet. So that comes out at $14.10, $50 on that. I'm trying to make up for lost time. And the last 50, it's going to be a close call double. The Bulldogs to win by 1-12 into the Broncos to win by 1-12. $50 on that.
Don't love that.
Well, the only one I disagree with you guys on is the Broncos beating the Titans. The other games that the Wars need the results to go their ways. I think we'll see. So it's not all bad news.
Not all bad. I've got 2 plays here. I'm going to go. We'll just go 50-50 on both. First one is all alternate point starts. So Warriors minus 5.5, Chooks minus 5.5, Storm minus 9.5, Dogs minus 2.5, and Panthers minus 7.5. That comes out at $5.61. So 50 on that. And then 50 on Khan Pereira to score and Titans to win at $3.20.
Nice.
That is it. Promos this week, Paul.
Yeah, we've got the 3 or more legs, same game, multi-bonus cashback. Once again, if one leg fails, up to $50 in bonus cash. That's Thursday to Sunday for the NRL this round, and you get 1 per day. Once again, check out all the T's and C's at the TAB website. And, of course, the Oval Ball Mega Multi, that's also up to $50 in bonus cashback, 1 per day. Check out the T's and C's.
Perfect. Searle, thank you very much for joining us. Hopefully we'll be able to call you back after another one next week.
Yeah. Cheers, lads. Yeah, I only come on after wins, so if the Warriors go on a massive stretch over this next few weeks, you're going to be hearing a lot from me. And that also means that I'll be sending some bets in. I'll be getting myself back in the game. So, look, it's of mutual benefit for both of us to have me in the mixer.
You reckon we'll see Teddy back next week?
I have no doubt we'll see Teddy back. I just hope we get Searle back next week, because that will mean that the Wars have won once again.
Exactly.
Paulie, all your pro-Wars chat makes me extremely nervous. Can we stop this, please?
And it has all season, yeah. Punters, thank you very much for listening, and we will be back next week to do it all again. Cheers.